So from the beginning of the month, I've been sharing with you what sensory processing difficulty is or disorder is, and how we can maybe observe it within each of the 7 senses with the adults and the children that we support. So throughout that, I've referred to hyper and hypo. So within each of the senses, I said it may well be that they do this, but then also they could do this, which is the total opposite, okay? So it might be that they really love having tight hugs, or it might be that they really don't want anyone to touch them. And that's still both related to our tactile sense, but there's 2 very different reasons why that might happen, okay? So a hyper processing difficulty is when my body's receiving lots and lots of stimulation from that sense, okay? So if you imagine when you've eaten lots of sweets and you've got lots of energy because of the sugar that you've eaten, you're hyperactive, you've got lots and lots of energy. So if I'm hyper auditory, I'm receiving lots and lots of auditory information, so I might cover my ears. Okay, so by covering my ears, I'm reducing that auditory information so that I'm not hyper, I'm a little bit lower, okay? If I'm hypo responsive, it means that I'm not receiving enough information from a sense, so I might do something to create more stimulation. So if I'm hypo-auditory, so I'm not receiving enough auditory information, I may well bang or tap objects. I'm creating more sound. It might be that I hum or I sing, so I'm creating more music. It might be that I really love vibration, okay? I'm hypo, but when I'm banging and tapping objects, I'm creating more auditory information, so I'm raising that up to this neutral line to be able to support my sensory integration, okay? So hyper and hypo is a way of recognizing if I'm receiving too much information or if I'm not receiving enough information. And once we've recognized this, we can help then to calm or to stimulate that sense to be able to regulate that information that we're receiving by our senses. We're going to carry on now. So the next lot of videos for the rest of the month, we're going to start to recognise within each specific sense some of the things that we might do to help us to identify if we're hyper or hypo. Okay, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it with other people. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We've got loads of information on there, but also on our website there's information about the installations that we make. So we teach the public about sensory processing difficulties through experience. So we put you into a situation of how it might feel, and then we ask you to reflect on that. So how would you feel if you were given a hyper auditory processing difficulty?